Hey, Singmin. Happy New Year.
Hi, Happy New Year.
You joining from US or Korea?
Uh,
Are you in US or it's morning or evening for you?
yeah, I'm US. I'm San
Okay.
Jose. Yeah,
All right. So same time zone. Okay, great.
yeah. Great. Maybe
Roy is here. Hey, Roy. Long time. His audio is still connecting. Roy, good morning. Happy New Year.
Hello. Hi. Hello, you.
How are you?
Happy New Year.
Long time. How are you doing?
It's good for us. How's going for you?
So far, so good. Just getting busy again after a break. Break was good.
Okay, sounds good.
Good morning, Charlie.
Morning, Yogesh. Long time no see.
Yeah.
All right.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are you all
Welcome
doing?
back. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year.
Hey, it is great to hear your voice, Roy.
Yeah. Me too.
It's awesome.
Sean, good to see you here too. Good to have a Google person back in this group.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome, Sean.
Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, it is exciting.
So this is almost 5 minutes over, and I was thinking about what do you all think we need to do to wrap up this version of the requirements?
Yeah, I think we're pretty close. I mean, so my proposal for this version of requirements would be that we publish like the thing that I think we've nailed is what we want to log. Right? And then the thing that we haven't nailed is quite how analysis works. And so I was thinking about this, and I was actually talking to Carlos about it yesterday. So I don't know if you all heard, but Carlos joined Microsoft uh, this month. So
Oh, oh really?
yeah,
Carlos from AMD moved to Microsoft this year?
yes,
Oh, I see. Sounds good.
yeah. So yeah, it's I'm excited, except for I'm going to miss his help at AMD. So, but I'm thrilled to be working with him closely. But he and I were talking, and you know, I think that the like in terms of doing the analysis stuff that we've been talking about for years and all the meetings, like the broader forums, will it's going to be hard for to nail. And so memory seems like a place we can get started really quickly. And Roy, we were even saying, hey, maybe we should call some of the memory vendors and do a proof of concept at Microsoft. Um, and just get some analyzers working and kind of demonstrate the flow. But I think that's going to be harder. It's just a lot more difficult subject. So I was going to propose that we have some high level analysis concepts in the document. If we can just maybe say they're good enough, then we publish what we've got once we've resolved comments and say the main focus of this version was identifying what we log, and then we have an idea, like we're not logging this for the fun of it. We have an idea that we're going to build tools that help everyone figure out what's going on in memory, and here are some notions for how those tools work. And then the next version of the next version of the doc after that would really dive deep into how analysis works. So
Yeah.
I don't
So
know, what do you all think?
what you're saying is, as a first step, we have identified clearly all the inputs that need to be captured for analysis, algorithm for analysis, flow, and all. Maybe that will follow in the future versions as we go along. Is that
Yeah.
what? Okay.
And I have a very specific reason why I think that way. I don't know if you remember, there was a feature back on Proliant servers. I forget what they called it externally, but it was like a health dump, and we built it when I was there, and we threw all this data into it, and nobody ever did anything with the data. Like two people in the world could parse the data, and it was just, but the reason we messed up there was that we didn't focus at all on analysis when we were designing the solution. And so I want to have a hint, like I want to have a little bit about, like, we are going to analyze, like we are gathering this data with a purpose, and we have a goal in mind, and and it's intentional, and we're designing it so that we can do this thing with it. But I think that's pretty easy now. I think we've done a good job of the goal is, like, understand memory failures and do the right thing when they occur. So that's, but I'm just saying that's what separates us from efforts that have failed, is that we have thought some about analysis, but we've done a
We
great job.
spent a lot of time going back and forth about what it will need and why. So
Yeah,
we have pretty solid thinking behind the list that we created about what we need to capture, and we debated and dropped things and refined.
exactly.
So,
And
is there anyone opposing or have any other thoughts about this approach going on, continuing with this path, refining? I mean, just basically releasing with what we have as inputs to the analyzers and high level diagram of analyzers. Let's share your thoughts, and then we can have a strategy around that.
I think that sounds great to me, Yogesh and Drew. Um, so we'd basically call a version 1.0 with kind of finalized standards around what data is to be collected, and then a version next would be more details on analysis.
Right.
I mean, like I've come into this with thoughts on thinking forward to the analysis the whole time, kind of, Drew, to your point. So I'm not
Yeah,
too worried about missing things that we want for analysis. That's how we went about creating the list of things to be logged.
Well, I agree. I think we've done a great job. I just want to put a little bit of analysis in the doc, like mention that we are doing analysis in the doc so that it's clear to everyone else that we did that.
Yep. Yeah, and like we've talked about before, if we say we're using AI in our analyzers, it gets a lot more
We're
screen
defending.
time these days. If we talk about logging stuff in CPR logs, everyone's eyes glaze over. But if you say we're doing AI analysis, everybody lights up.
Yeah, AI crash prediction. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anyone else wants to chime in on this this plan?
Yeah, I'm kind of new to the team and still soaking stuff up. But I think, Drew, you have an excellent point in terms of the purpose is to gather information to make an analysis. I think a lot of people assume when they read an error log that is the fault. And that's not the case. No matter what the log says, you still need to collect information and do analysis on it. You can't just read what the error message was and say, oh, I know what this fault is.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so stating the purpose, I think, is a very good idea.
Awesome.
All right.
And just
Thanks,
for
Charlie.
people's
Anyone
convenience-
else from Samsung or SK? Any thoughts?
That sounds great. So I strongly agree that purpose.
Hey,
Okay.
Yogesh, Drew, I joined a little late, but from the gist I'm getting, it sounds like the proposal or what you're asking for thoughts on is to release now. Is that roughly right?
Well, I think we want to release the document we have. We'll clean it up a little, but release it, and we'll just say the focus of this release is to identify the data that we want to capture for analysis, and then the next version of the document will flesh the analysis out further.
Yep, that sounds great to me. That's what I thought I understood, but just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. In fact, Drew, I think what we really need to define is what outputs we want from analysis tool, and what is in between is pretty much going to be vendor provided, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's I think it's inputs and outputs, but
Yeah, so inputs we are doing already, and then the next phase we really need to nail down all the outputs for various types of flows or JEDEC specified RAS
yeah.
features that we need. And once we do that, then analysis pretty much gets boxed into in between inputs and outputs, and how our vendors get to that.
Yeah, yes, but I guess the only reason I mentioned inputs is that we like in terms of I think we've agreed on the what needs to go into the CPR, but then I think there may be some details about the implementation. How do you pass CPRs to the analyzer that we still have to work through a little bit. But I don't think those are going to be a big deal. But that's not. So I agree. We've got the CPR content there, but then how do we pass that to the analyzer in detail? There may be some more work, but we don't have to do that.
Yeah, we will have to work on that maybe. In section 7, we did start output of analyzer.
Yeah.
And I think we can leave it at a note. Leave it at that with a note that this is still developing and more work is expected in the next version of this doc. Is that going to be okay to do that?
I think so, and I think the this looks pretty good. I think that sounds great. We can say that we'll refine this, and like we have the other proposal in the main group for the common platform action log, and so we can decide like while we're getting this version out and we work on the next version in that time frame, I'm hoping we can decide on a little bit about what the CPAL looks like, and we put them out of this analog, right?
Yeah, and the identified outputs from this forum and others like GPU and RAS API, all of those would basically be what goes in the cPal, right? So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
so with that, I think what I'm hearing is everyone is in favor of, cleaning up this doc at this version. If there are things which are kind of placeholders, need a lot of work, we will remove it, put it to the next version, copy of this document. If there are things which seem, maybe more will be added, we will add note to that effect, try to clean it up in, say, next, what do you think, 4 meetings or so? Should we
yeah.
target for that, or it's too aggressive?
Oh, that sounds amazing. And then, the other thing that I was, like I said with Carlos is, and if we want to do some proofs of concept, so I think I can round up some people at Microsoft that
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be
Let's
interested
talk
in.
about that in parallel. We can start those discussions in parallel.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mean to slow things down, but I'm just saying, like that's how we can kick off some of the analysis work is, maybe Google, maybe Microsoft. Uh, we can take some because I know the memory folks have some tools already, and we can start with those and see if they're how well they're working with lots of data. And I, like the thing that Carlos was telling me is, as someone who recently worked at a CPU supplier, was that they don't have as much data as they'd like. And I mean,
Yeah,
Intel's always told me the same thing, right? You like more data. And so I think nailing the data format will enable us to start getting you more data. Uh,
yeah,
and then that will, I think, if we can build a simple analyzer that doesn't do like it just does some basic things, but we prove that it works really well, then we can just iterate on that and build that up into the awesome tool that we're dreaming of.
yeah. That's a great idea. Let's continue to talk about that.
So, okay, well, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to distract us, you guys. I just want to say, I think if we align on kind of how things are going to play out, maybe it'll help
Yeah,
us, get there.
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then how do we proceed? Should we just go through the document?
Yeah, I think let's start taking care of notes one at a time. And do we want to just work with versions or create a copy? What do we do?
So my proposal would be, I've been thinking about maybe what we do is, when we have a copy. So I think it's extremely helpful to see the whole history of the doc in one place. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
exactly.
you fork for your next major version in code. You don't
Yeah,
really, but what you do is you freeze it. So like what we can do is when we freeze the doc and say we've got 1.0, then what we do is we save it as a copy, and and then we keep working in the main document. That's kind of my proposal, and that way we kind of fork off the 1.0, and if there's a minor change we need to get 1.0 out, we can do it in that copy, um, and then but then we keep the flow of the development of the main doc all in one place.
okay. So let's do that. You want to do it at your end, Drew?
Sure. Now, I guess, but we want to review the comments, and like we don't need want to like we're not ready to do that yet, are we? I mean, we got to go through these comments
Okay,
first.
so that's what I was asking. Do we want to preserve, or we can always go back in the versions? Do we want to preserve this document as it stands today as a backup copy, or do you want to just? I mean, it's easy enough. I can make a copy today in the Google Drive and
Sure. I mean,
duplicate it and just
uh,
say that okay, this is a backup copy.
and I'll
Okay,
say beginning cleanup for. Oh, I guess you can put spaces here. Okay, beginning cleanup for 1.0. Okay, and you can make a copy too, but at least that way
I
when we
already
go.
did. Great. So we're doing great. Yeah, already did.
Yeah, and then like when we go to version history, I've got a named version beginning cleanup for 1.0, so we can also just jump to here. And I think, yeah, for folks using Google Docs, I personally recommend naming early and often, just kind of it doesn't hurt to name a version. Okay, I don't know what I did here, but there. Okay, okay. So then, shall we begin? Like, or do you have other
Yeah.
ideas?
Absolutely. Let's take care of this thing.
Okay. So I think that we've been through the Samsung contributions, right? They're down below.
Okay.
This is a year ago.
Yeah. So there is James on the call or anyone from Samsung? No. You want to leave this one with a note
Okay.
assigned to James, and is there anything else needed, or shall we mark it and assign it to James, or we can ask?
My memory there, Drew, is that we did close that one. That comment's just
Yeah,
higher
I
than I
think
thought
so.
it was. Yeah.
That's what I thought too, but oh gosh, I don't have JM.
I think you had it right there on the top. Yeah, at James
Yeah,
got that.
yeah. I was just trying to like make it. Oh, let's see. Okay, I will copy his contact information. Oh, add email. I don't have his email. That's why.
Let's assign it to Stuti from Samsung. She joins also at Stuti, STUTI. Yeah, Stuti, but okay, yeah, she uses that email, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter to me what address she uses. Okay. Okay. Then. Oh wow! I clicked that comment.
It brought
Sorry
you
about
to
that.
table.
I think I. Well, what happened there? I don't know what happened. I think I just expanded something. I don't know. Okay. Feel free to add your names to the table.
Yeah, so do that. Anyone wants to be identified as a contributor to this doc, please add your name. We kind of added those alphabetically by company name, so if you want to follow that.
Yeah, and
Ask Carlos if he wants to be identified as an AMD person or as a Microsoft person.
I'm just going to do it. I mean, I'll just do it. We have formerly.
All right,
Yeah, there's precedence,
that's
and
good.
it's strictly factual. Okay. And
I just added Charlie's name. Charlie, please add your email.
Okay. Okay, and oh yeah, and Charlie was a so Charlie.
Actually, does everyone can everyone see a link to this document? Drew, want to drop that in chat also?
I already did. When I started sharing, I pasted the link to the doc in the
Great,
chat.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and Yogesh, I think I see someone else that needs to put their email and a title.
Right, thank you.
Okay. Let's see. So it looks like, gosh, I'm not seeing a lot of comments down here. Okay. I guess Mita and I had made a pass through part of it. Let's see. So just adding text to the diagram below. Okay.
Coming out of ERD.
Oh, weird. The arrow.
What is ERD?
I'm not sure, Mita. We're looking at your comment here.
Yeah, I'm also trying to remember.
Okay.
Sorry.
ERD right here. This is error record decoder.
Okay.
And it says offline analysis log, but it's not really. It's really runtime analysis. I agree.
No, I think what is meant is log for offline analysis. Is that what was meant by that?
Well, like the problem is that if we call it, like, I know it's off of the server, but the server is not offline, right? If you see the word offline,
No,
it
yeah, I think because it's going to the
Yeah, I think this is the
infrastructure for
right, this is the right thing. The idea here is that once you get the record, two things happens. One is real-time analysis and some action. And second is to save it in a big data for any kind of dashboarding, further analysis, maybe some other action that need to be done in future in future time. So that's
Yeah.
what this is. So this goes into big data basically.
But I guess the thing about this, Anil, that we're going to use that error log when the next error comes too. So, you know,
Yeah.
because we're talking about time series.
So when the data is collected, it is saved multiple places. Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And one place where it always stays is a big data. That's like master copy, right? For offline, any kind of offline analysis, we use quite a bit dashboarding, right? And for dashboards, we have to save it somewhere, and then do all kind of dashboarding.
I'm really sorry. I just don't have any recollection of what I
So
meant.
yeah, that's all right. I think we follow the what you're trying to say there. Your suggestion was is this runtime? But I think it could be used for runtime, but it's actually offline. It's going to offline data store. So
Well,
that's a little bit of
yeah. Can we just delete the word offline? It's an analysis log, and we're using it for what we use it for.
sure. That's what I was going to say. The offline word is a little bit problematic. So
It
yeah,
is.
that's
So if we just say analysis log, then
yeah.
you know,
We won't get into runtime or
yeah.
kind of.
And that shows what Anil was talking about too, where we save it and and use it later.
Right.
Okay, cool. And so I'm going to resolve your comment, Mita, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's see. Table TBD. I think this is table 1. So
So while we resolve that, above that figure where actually Mita's comment was, there is a statement, this module checks whether the error log contain memory errors and determines if they are intended for runtime or offline analysis. Offline, are we okay with leaving offline analysis word there? I mean, it could be offline, online.
how about
yeah.
how about runtime or let's see. This module checks.
You want to say future
Read the whole
analysis
sentence.
or?
I think the whole sentence we could just. Let's see this. Let's see, the error record decoder. I mean, basically, I don't think it determines that.
Yeah, I think in the first block, we are clearly saying it's memory error data coming. So again, checking whether it contains memory errors seems redundant.
Yeah.
So the first statement, this module checks whether error logs contain memory errors.
I mean, I'm saying I propose just deleting the sentence, the and part, because it doesn't really do that. It just determines whether it knows what the error is, and if it doesn't, it logs it, and we'll go back through the pile of data that we have and
yeah,
try to find.
I would simply say this module examines the error log, basically. because I think, and correct me Roy, if I'm wrong, but I think we are sending memory logs only to this. We are not sending non-memory logs generally.
Well, this is the decoder, so it decides if it's a memory error, and if it's a memory error, it analyzes it. So it does determine, but here's the deal. If it's not a memory, oh, I see, yeah, it decodes it. So I think we just say it decodes the error log. That's all.
Yeah, I think that would,
What about sorry, go ahead.
I would just say the model, I would get rid of this and just say it decodes, this module decode processor specific information and provides standard inputs. I think that's actually what it does, right?
Yeah. Roy, Ivan, you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that wording's fine.
What about the case, say, I have an uncorrectable memory error? I don't necessarily have enough information to determine what the fault is, but I know I need to take immediate action on that. So there's kind of two things going on. What's the immediate action to be taken versus collecting the logs and analyzing the logs?
Well, if it's an uncorrected error, what would happen is we'd decode it. We'd say yes, it's a memory error. It would go to the DRAM fault analyzer, and let's say that it's just an isolated uncorrected error. The memory vendor will use what they know about the part, but yeah, it may just be you got a memory error. It's got a broken part, or it may be if we may not know. So we'll have to do the best
Right.
we can, but you'll know the rank bank row and column, and let's say you had previous errors, in several parts, but they just never occurred in the same ECC code word, and all of a sudden you have one that occurred in the same code word. Now you got something wrong across the DIMM. It could be a channel signal integrity problem, or it could be a power problem, but we'll build experience and incorporate all of our experience into the memory and system fault analyzers.
Sure. Yeah, so that kind of follows the flow we're talking about here. But what
Yeah.
about at the system level, I need to immediately panic. So are we kind of including that? Do we think we need to include that flow in this discussion, or is that something else, how the system responds to particular errors?
Yeah, in fact, I've been having talked to Microsoft about this, and this is a really, really good point, Charlie. So the way this works is, because the Windows team approached me and said, "Hey, what's going on here? How does this work?" But the deal is that if there's an uncorrected memory error that software is trying to use, you have to synchronously interrupt that, or you're going to risk using corrupted data.
Right.
And that's
right. Yeah.
like we'd rather crash than corrupt, and that's kind of a universal statement. I mean, I've never found a customer anywhere that said, "Oh, you know what? In the name of continuing to run, just corrupt my data. It's okay." No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So the deal is that the hardware and the OS will take immediate action when they try to use the data, and they will stop whatever's running, determine whether or not, if it's like a deferred error, like a poison consumption, they can determine whether or not they want to recover at any level. I mean, the OS might do a recovery and shoot the application or the VM. The VM may recover and then shoot the application within it, or the application may get the signal that it fetched uncorrected errors and actually recreate the data somehow, like SAP HANA does. But that's not our problem here. That happens synchronously, like in code execution speed, or we get silent data corruption.
Got it. Okay, so that's outside the scope of what we're talking about here in this document.
Yeah, that's
thanks.
the poison scenario, right, Drew?
Yes, exactly. Okay. And Mita, I'm still working with the attorneys at Microsoft to approve my document for release, but I'm getting that poison document released, and I want to share it with you and go through it and see if you and I can make it more generally useful.
Sounds great.
That's exactly it.
So back to the document, I think Anil made some excellent edits. Thank you, Anil. But since they're not in the suggestion mode, let's just take another look at that paragraph. I think it looks much better now after Anil's edits.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, this guy. This
Okay,
guy.
okay.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize I was not in session mode, so I went ahead.
But I was watching you, so you're safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So I think that this is a great point, and that's kind of what we said this is that input I was talking about. I didn't know Carlos had put this, but I think we can cover this later. This is my proposal.
Yeah, I think this whole GUID, I don't know if we want to propose GUIDs here yet. Let's keep this for the next version. So I'm saying we have a backup copy of this table. Maybe we want to not add GUIDs yet.
Well, I guess they're I mean, we're not burning them. They're, so many of them, but I guess can we just say this section is subject
All
to
right.
change?
Okay, that's fine too. If you want to replace them later by GUIDs, or we want to recycle these GUIDs for something else, that's fine too. Okay, no issues. We can leave them here for now.
And I'll say, I'm just going to say proposed GUIDs subject to change as analysis details defined in the next version, if that's okay.
I'm just wondering, sorry, I mean, this is kind of the same thing, but isn't it okay just to remove the actual GUIDs? Because once they're in a docs, even with that, disclaimer up there, there's a likelihood it just gets used or assumed, assumptions being made about it. If we aren't sure about it, we should just remove at least the numbers of the GUIDs until we get something that we want to pin down.
Well, okay, we got to I mean, we can take this sentence out and take the table out then. I mean,
under GUID, you could also just say to, TBD or whatever. Yeah, sure. That's also fine, I guess.
I guess if we do that, let's just make sure we have this to copy right back in later.
Yeah, so I already have a copy made of the whole document, so we are safe. Everything
Okay.
that is being changed is already copied over. So yeah, I think let's just say TBD in the table, maybe.
oh, okay.
We know that GUIDs will be there, but we don't know what the values are yet because they may come from somewhere else.
Well, I mean, sure. But then we
So-
just change that's the case.
So Yogesh, you mentioned they might come from someplace else. So where are we thinking the GUIDs come from? And does JEDEC have a standard for identifying companies? I think they have a kind of a part number spec or part
Well,
numbering.
this is a little bit different because this is just for an analyzer, and GUIDs are used like this all the time, and you just type a command in Linux and it'll generate a GUID for you. And
Okay.
GUIDs are
Then-
GUIDs are trivial to create and used commonly they're part of CPR. Like they're used for many things in CPR.
Okay, so but would two different customers or two different system houses generate their own GUIDs, or would there be
Yeah.
some universal GUID for each of these? And
No, you generate your own. You can just type the GUID. You generate the GUID at the command line, and the thing is, it's a big enough random number that the odds of two people generating the same one are infinitesimal. So nobody
Okay.
worries about it. They just generate them.
okay, so do we even need a table for GUIDs if everyone is going to generate their own?
Well, the table helps. I mean, we don't. So at the end of the day, what's going to happen is we put the analyzer in the data center, and we go, hey, what are your GUIDs? And the analyzer goes, here are my GUIDs. And then when I get error logs that have that GUID in them, I go, oh, okay, that was one that AMD claimed. And so, but it helps to, I mean, it is a little nice to put them here. But I do think we want to be able to discover new GUIDs readily, so that if, let's say Motorola comes back from the grave and starts making processors, they just follow the path here, follow the API we define for sending logs, and I can discover their GUID, and it just works. But we can get into that with the next version. I think that's kind of what I was proposing, is that we'll sort that out a little bit later, the details.
Okay, so TBD for now.
Yeah, I mean that's fine, and we'll sort it out. But that is the idea, Charlie. And GUIDs are just something you generate on demand. And if you look at the Windows registry, it's full of GUIDs, and you look at like a lot of internet code, and it's full of GUIDs. It's just they are generated on demand when you need them.
Okay.
And
Yeah, and my question was more along the lines of, say, if Meta has a data or server center, they generate GUIDs. They don't have anything to do with, say, what a Microsoft data center would generate in terms of their GUIDs. So an AMD GUID would be different for Microsoft than it would be for
no, it would be the same. I think so AMD is going to have code that generates the error logs that we've described here. And it will use, there'll be a format for that, and it will have a GUID. And when AMD's error logs go up to the cloud, we're going to say, hey, we got a CPER. It's got a GUID in it. Who analyzes it? Hey, any analyzer over here, do you know this GUID? And the analyzer and the AMD analyzer go, yep, that's me. And we want that to work, whether it's a gas station with a server in its back room, or Google or Microsoft or Cisco. And if they get the same error log and then anything that AMD learns from any of those customers can be folded into their analyzer and into new versions of firmware, so that we all benefit from the lessons. And so this goes back to the thing I said earlier, where the silicon vendors don't get enough data about how their products work. And so if we have a GUID that works everywhere for a particular company's product, then it really helps them gather consistent data from everyone.
So the GUID is coming from the vendor. So AMD generates a GUID, and then everybody recognizes that as an AMD GUID.
And that's exactly how we listed it here.
Okay. Yeah. So that was kind of to my question of what's the source of the GUID. The source of the GUID is each vendor generates their own GUID, and everybody then recognizes that.
Yeah. Well, to be pedantic, the vendor agrees on what their GUID is. It doesn't matter who typed the command, but as long as we agree, and so
okay, got it.
consistently. Yeah. And the vendor can use, and here's the deal: if AMD has a future error log that they want to send to a different analyzer, then I don't like that. We have multiple analyzers from AMD, but they could do it. And CPERs of some GUIDs go to one analyzer, and CPERs of another go to a different. But at least my hope is that we can have an AMD analyzer that analyzes all AMD products, or an Intel analyzer that does all Intel products, whether it's a smart NIC or an SoC or a GPU or something else.
Got it. Thanks.
Okay, so
back to figure a little bit more. We did not have a title for the figure. I added one. Feel free to suggest better name.
Looks good to me.
Anil, your comment, I think you already made the change. The box is called Cloud Provider Infrastructure. The last box, you want to say about it?
Yeah, in the block diagram now, since we are kind of digging deeper here, in the last box we are saying Cloud Provider Infrastructure. But I thought this whole thing is part of Cloud Provider Infrastructure. So I don't know if Cloud Provider Infrastructure is... But
one second, Anil, whole thing meaning?
All three boxes. the platform, the vendor specific fault analyzer, and error data logger, analyzer. I mean, this whole thing is within the cloud provider infrastructure.
Yeah, but I think we generally use the term infrastructure as an error handling infrastructure, right? Like the offline policy engine host kind of infrastructure, right?
What do you mean?
Not the data center servers themselves, nodes themselves. We did not call them infrastructure so far.
Yeah, that's true. So like we've said, the infrastructure connects to the server and gets data from it and then does stuff. So that's what we've generally said in the other meetings, right? And Neil, I mean, like, I get your point though, that I mean, like Neil's point is valid in that the vendor specific fault analyzer runs in the cloud provider infrastructure somewhere, but we've historically not included the platform. The platform speaks to the infrastructure, and the infrastructure does something with the errors from the platform. Is I think Yogesh's point.
The way I'm looking at it, I would take this last box, big box out, and error data logging is like a big data picture, like how a disk is shown. But it's a big store or data store.
So how about this, Drew? Instead of taking the box out, extend it to get the middle box also inside it. Now, everything other than the platform itself is cloud provider infrastructure. Does that help with their thinking a little? Is that?
Yeah, I was thinking that, but then I realized that even the platform also is.
In reality, yeah, it's a matter of nomenclature, right? How do we? What are we?
That's why that box actually doesn't mean, because everything is part of cloud provider infrastructure. So that I think what we should do is these two boxes at the end, just call them so error data logging is good. Just make that as a store, because this is actually a big store, right? Where the results are going in, the actual raw data going in, maybe some middle pre-processed data going in. I mean, it's a big data, right? That's one of the key thing for cloud providers. And then analysis integrator is that one we can call it a cloud provider policy. I don't know. It's called that one thing. Analysis integrator, I'm not sure that's the right word for that. Error database.
Well, cloud provider policies is what we've called it everywhere else.
Yeah, so just call that, right? And then that itself is a box in itself, right? It's some sort of
Well, we've used that box in all our other drawings. So that's
I think you just need one data in the above box. You don't need to repeat data. Error database is good enough.
Error database.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Now, then
we can remove this.
You can remove that. I think we understand what. Yeah, you can remove this box. Yeah, that's fine.
It's all implied that this is an infrastructure. I don't think that's that confusing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's a good change.
So resolve that comment too, because we don't want to leave comments behind. No comment left behind.
Okay, I'm going to resolve that, and I'm going to referring to next version of the document.
And assign it to Carlos, which is fine.
Well, I mean, it's legit.
No, I was just joking because he has a new email now. So.
Yeah. Okay. I know I can't email him at that address anymore. So I'm gonna just accept that comment, and we got to get back to it.
I just made one edit in the table. I think what you're referring here is the analyzers, not the ERDs. The ERD, the decoder is a standard decoder. There is no GUID for that.
It will not. So all of this is vendor specific, right? Uh, but that's okay. We just have one analyzer, it decodes and analyzes things, and and the analyzer says, send this to me, and then it decodes it, figures out what it is, and analyzes it.
Let's make sure that we're on the same page. So Drew, the first time the CPER comes out, right? That's a stack defined CPER header, and then within the CPER, after the header, there are multiple events. Each event has event log. Each event log has its own header. So which header you're talking about here, decoding?
So we need to figure. So my assumption, and this is really good, Anil, and I don't know. This is one of the things I think we have to talk about in the next version with inputs. But what I was expecting was that if we have silicon endpoints that generate error logs, that they generate a complete CPER log that we somehow associate. So let's say that I have an Intel SoC and an NVIDIA CPU, I mean, an NVIDIA GPU. Um, I would get two CPER logs that I send together, and the header decoder thing that you and I have talked about in the past would go for every error log in this bundle. Uh, uh, get the GUID and send it to the right analyzer. But I don't know. I mean, if we can revisit that if I got it wrong. That was what I thought we had agreed to, but I might not have it right.
Yeah, in my mental model, I was thinking that your first error record decoder is the first the bundle header, which is spec defined, and there is no GUID associated with that. And GUID is associated with the event logs.
Well, this was for an SoC in our discussions. So, like this would be an Intel SoC error log, and it would say, is it a memory error? If it is, then Intel would translate the things in its error log to something that the DRAM fault analyzer can use. And that's necessary because, Intel has different registers than AMD, and different registers than ARM IPs, right? So, our goal is to get one analyzer that's bundled by the SoC vendor that does memory stuff also.
So I think if we plan to resolve and settle on this organization of analyzers next version, do we want to just leave out that table itself also? Because it's becoming even more controversial now, a little bit. I mean, not controversial, it's just that not fully determined.
No, but the point we're discussing right now should be addressed so that at least
no, it's very much the organization and who provides which analyzer discussion, right? That's what the GUID is.
No.
Whose analyzer it is.
No, I think there's a at least I'm now confused. So from the platform, how the error data comes out, either out of band or in band, right? Are we on the same page on that?
Mm-hmm.
There are only two ways the data can come out, right?
That's right.
If it's out of band, then some management entity like the BMC or HMC, CMC, whatever, right, bundles all the information into a CPER data format. Yes, and then saves it and then push it out. So that's the CPER record, and the CPER record has.
So if you look at this, I think I have a picture in the CPAL doc.
In fact, this error data, Drew, I think you want to call it a CPER, right, in format, because that's the understanding that I have. That whatever data comes out from the platform is a CPER format.
Yes, but like let me just bear with me one sec. I want to share some. There's another picture that we've been talking about. Right, this picture. This is the CPAL proposal, and I'll paste that in the chat too. We welcome feedback, but And this is kind of where I think we need to go with, like in the next version, we need to get all of this nailed. And that's kind of why I'm saying I want to defer some of this, but each of these entities can generate a a CPER. But in this case, this GPU did. It spoke to the RAS API, and it could be that you have a SmartNIC and a GPU that are on the same PCI switch and see the same glitch from the switch, and both log an error. But they would both send error logs out the RAS API, and there would be two logs. The header parser would parse them and go, oh, this one goes to the SmartNIC analyzer. This one goes to the GPU analyzer, and then we have the policies, and we have the store. Just like same elements. I guess we should name them more consistently. But the thought is I think what I don't know is if I get both error logs. I was assuming they were separate CPERs, but they're bundled. Do you have something else in mind?
Yeah, it could be separate or could be bundled, depends upon the time when
Exactly, depending on the
right?
timing. I agree. And my thought is that when the RAS API gets an error, it looks around and says, hey, does anyone else have an error? And if it does, because what happens is in reality is errors propagate quickly in many cases, and like these things that are logging are going to be slower than some error propagations. And so I think there'll be cases where multiple things log an error, and there'll be cases where one thing logs an error, and then sometime later, something else steps into it and logs an error. And we just have to handle both of those in our analysis.
I think that the word decoding is sort of confusing. What you have here is the correct way of putting it. So there's a header parser.
You're confusing something now. So what the drawing in the other box is just the SOC analyzer. So inside the SOC analyzer, we say, okay, let's decode it. And then if it's a memory error, feed it to the memory analyzer. Notice there's no separate memory analyzer. And the reason is, imagine that we had separate memory analyzers. That would suck, because now when I want to analyze memory errors, I've got to go to every memory vendor and get their analyzer. And really what we want is, we want to say, Intel, we've got your product. Are you working with your silicon partners, and can you analyze errors that come from your product?
Okay,
So,
I'm even more confused now. So you're saying that the memory.
Hey guys, here's what I want to do. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt a little bit. I think we have a couple of minutes. We are not going to able to settle it. I do want to steal those last couple of minutes to welcome Antonio back, who's been a good patron of this group and mentor to a lot of us. So Antonio is now from Ireland. Hey Antonio, how are you doing?
Hey,
welcome, Antonio.
hi,
I'm a
Drew.
little bit in shock.
Yes.
Where
Well,
did you land, Antonio?
where did I land? I'm working at Huawei right now
Well,
in
welcome.
Ireland. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Are you moving to Ireland?
Yes, I am now officially in Ireland with my family.
Wait. You're in Ireland working for Huawei?
Yep. Ireland Research. Huawei has the research center here. So
Wow.
the reliability lab is here. So now I work for.
There you go. Now I have a place to go when I come to Ireland.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm expecting to see all of you guys.
Costa Rica,
the OCP
you
thing.
invite me to Costa Rica. I wanted to come to Costa Rica. Okay, you always think of very exotic place, Antonio.
It's a little bit colder. Yeah, that's true. It's a little bit colder here, but yeah, it's manageable. It's manageable. And the Global Summit is here. I'm hoping to see you guys at the Global Summit for the OCP.
Right.
Yeah, I saw the next one was there. Well, that's cool. I would never have guessed Huawei in Ireland there, Antonio.
Oh yeah.
Good to see you in the group again.
Thank you. Catching up. Getting used to the schedule. This one is really Irish friendly. The Harvard Fault Management is not so Irish friendly.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Well, and so I think we're out of time, But to Neil, to my point earlier, think of this green box as a self-contained thing that comes from an SoC vendor. And it happens to have the DRAM analyzer built into it. That's all this is. So I'm not showing header parsing in this drawing at all. I'm assuming, one CPER, one tool to analyze it. I'm not showing the multiple tools in here.
I see. I think that didn't come out very clearly to me. Something need to be. We need to put it in bigger context.
Well, let's do that in the next version, right? So we've shown that we have an idea for analysis, and that was kind of my point. Is we've got to work out the details there, but it would be a disaster if I, as an end user, have to merge a whole bunch of companies' code to get an analysis tool. But these are intimate, and so we just want them to come together. Now. We can work through the details of what that looks like in the next version. But that's kind of what I was trying to put off some of, because we've got something good. And the way I see it is that if we can propagate this error logging stuff that we've agreed upon, it's going to take time for silicon vendors to get these things implemented. And so I think we want to get the error logging queued up as fast as we can, and then we can work with the analysis tools in parallel. But we can say, look, we've agreed upon what we want to log. Start logging it, and then we'll build the analyzers in parallel.
Yeah, that to me, that makes sense. For the first version, go with what you have here. And then second version, we start building out more of the details. So the way I would look at this from a DRAM failure point of view is if this first version can handle generic type DRAM issues, we don't need the DRAM vendors involved, but down the road as we get more sophisticated, yeah, we will want Samsung's input, Hynix, Micron, what have you.
Well, that's important because we want them to be in control of their warranty experience too. It's their business model that's at stake here, right? The memory vendors need to be able to say when a part gets replaced, or they need some more input than they have today.
Right. But I think for now, for the first rev, we would be looking at the Intels and the AMDs to do the heavy lifting on the analyzer work, and then bring in the Microns and the Hynixes and
I guess,
the Samsungs.
I would prefer to take a wait and see approach, because I think that I think I agree with your incremental kind of crawling out approach, but let's just wait and see, because the memory vendors may be ready. Let's just see how it plays out as we develop the analyzer.
Okay.
Because sounds good. I think we are at a good point to stop for today. We are 3 minutes over, so let's see you all next time. Okay.
And I guess if you have comments in the document that you can resolve
go
of your
back
own, please resolve them. Please resolve anything you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.